Hey guys, welcome to QuadS Trading, and today I'm going to show you guys the trades that popped on my scanners in my Discord. So if you haven't joined my Discord yet, the description below has the link for the invite. If you have not seen how I do trade this pattern, head over to my channel and go in the very first video that gives you an introduction of the trading that I use for short selling. So let's get started. So on September the 9th, SMXT, if you look at previous close, it's up 39%. Now I do want this ideally to reach this purple line, but however, because we have a max bearish candle, candle is huge and it's red, it is a potential well, not an entry, but like a second confirmation for your entry. My entry is always below the blue line for a short one trade, and I will show you guys a short two trade later today in this video, because it did happen a little bit later in the week. So essentially the entry would have been right here, and the exit is always at this purple line, which is the SMA. And I short 100 shares, so this would have been a nice little $30. ENBS, this one here, same thing. It did pump in the aftermarket of the day before, so from here we need at least 30%, and it hit 53. So this line here, which you will learn in my course what this is a potential entry, but because it spiked so fast, it like went over this line right to this one here. So ideally this was the entry, but because I was sleeping and I don't trade until 6:30, I wait about right here. The MACD shows a downtrend, so I went back in right here, right when it closed below the blue line, and you cover at the SMA. So nice little $45 trade. And then this one here was a beautiful one. This is what you're looking for every single day. There's no action at all the day before, many days before. The aftermarket of the previous day has nothing. It just pumps 148%. You wait for this MACD here to cross. This means that's going on a downtrend. That's your first confirmation, but the second one that you want is this one right here. It closes below the blue line. That's when you enter, and you always exit at this purple line, which is the SMA. $176 on 100 shares. That was a beautiful trade. BKYI, this was on the 10th. So this one right here, this one here is not as nice as a trade as the other ones, but win's a win. So see how it hit this red line here. So I always put an entry a couple pennies before, usually 2 or 3 pennies underneath the actual line. So that was 16. This one here is 315. That's why you go just a little bit under. And then from here, once it hits this orange line, so this orange line is pretty much halfway marked in between the blue and the purple, I do a range order to cover at a stop loss of as a short one entry, which is short one is right here, right? Because if you look at the MACD is below, like it's a downward trend, and underneath the blue at the close, which is right here, this is your short one entry, and this is your short two entry. So essentially it would have hit here. I would have changed my range order to stop loss here, take profit probably somewhere around here, because like I said, I do work while I do these trading, so I have to kind of guess where the SMA is going to be. So sometimes I'll be closing slightly above or slightly under, but so for example this one here, it would have pumped back up right here, and I would have closed at 212, which means that I would have gotten from here up to 212, which is $104. So this one here, like they don't all do the pattern I'm looking for, where it's a pump back down to the SMA, but nonetheless, it's still a win. And that's it for the the SMX on the 10th. SMX, this is also a really nice one. Nothing happening the day before. It pumps 165%. The MACD crosses over here at the same time that is technically my entry, because it closed below the blue line. And then from here to the SMA, if is either right here. If you would have done like a couple cents above, like kind of like what I do, I kind of guess I would have stopped right here at 206. Or if you actually do hit the SMA, $180. Two beautiful trades this week so far. BCTX. Let's have a look at this one here. This one here is another beauty. There's absolutely no activity the day before. It jumps 200%. The MACD does a cross. The entry is when the MACD crosses and it closes below the blue line. So let's say it closes right here, and you always go at the SMA. $68. That was it for the 11th. So on the 12th and the 13th, I was actually at a wedding, so I only traded one, which was this one here. Oh, sorry, I traded the other one, not this one, just because I wasn't on my phone as much. But I kind of show you the same example. Beautiful, no activity the day before. It pumps 133%. The MACD crosses right here, so you enter at whenever it closes below, which is right here, and the SMA gets closed on the next day. So you go from here right to here, $131. So for the close, it's the SMA, which is right here, or 6:30 when you wake up. So either way, I would have gotten the same amount of close. That was a really nice one. SMFL. Same thing here. No activity before, very little in the aftermarket, but here to here, 69%. The MACD crosses right here. So on this one right here, you could have taken the trade, the entry, the exit, $45. And so this is the one that I took T on. So you can tell no activity before. It pumps 100, 200%. My entry would have been here, but it just happened too fast. I just didn't take it there. It was too fast. So it dropped. I did locate this. It was $30 to locate. I did take a short position right here at 928. So this is 930, but like I said, I always do a couple pennies before. My stop loss on these ones is $2 per share. So it never hit the 1129. Right, 1129 would have been right about here. It didn't hit it, which is great. And then from there, it just tanked right down to the SMA. Look at that, $445. Beautiful trade. And the reason why you take this trade at the SMA is because the trade is done. You always take profit when it hits that. Because let's say you go the next day, look at that. Like our trade is right here. The next day, this thing pumped, but like almost, I think it was 2,200%. This shows, 2,000%. You'd have been liquidated, margined out, you would have lost everything if you would have stayed overnight on this one. And I do know people that lost a lot of money on this one. That's why when they hit that SMA, you just get out and you don't get greedy and take more profit. And then let's just fast forward to this one here because we are already on this trade here. Like I didn't take this one because it was just crazy, but just to show you the pattern, right, that MACD cross here, you could have entered here. It did go up. You would have stopped out, obviously, and then you would have taken it back right here because that's the next cross, and then you would have done the SMA 200 right there. So let's say you lost $200 on this one here. You would have re-entered here. Like I said, I didn't take this trade, but I'm just giving you the pattern. And you would have done it on 100 shares. If your account's big enough, you would have made $2,500. Like I said, my account is way too small for this one here, but for the larger accounts, this would have easily worked for you guys. So let's go to the following day, MNPR. I actually took this one. Actually, we already did this one. Let's go to Friday, VMAR. Yeah, this is the one that I took right here too. Very little activity before it, it pumps easy 80%. A short 2 entry is right here. A short 1 entry is right here because the MACD did cross over. So if you would have taken an entry here to the SMA, you have done almost $200. If you would have played it safe, because sometimes what happens, if they go here, they can like pump higher, but a lot of times they just want to touch those lines, the purple line, the red lines, and they just want to touch it and they come down. And then right here, if you did like a safe trade, which is below the blue line and the MACD cross, you'd have done $122. And then I'll give you another example as to why you always take profit at the SMA. Here's another example right here. It did what it had to do, crossed down, whatever, came back down. It touched the SMA, trade's done, because later that day, it just pumped right back up. Right, so this right back to this red line. This red line's a magnet for price. Like, see, like it touches there, comes down, touches here, comes down, touch, 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 come down. And if I'm going to do a prediction, if I can do a line, I'll just use this here, like this. This is probably going to go something like this, and this here is going to go something like this. That's our prediction. So $5. At $5. So even if you would have taken this trade here afterwards, which I didn't, I couldn't even locate it, and when I tried, 173. So this pattern happens very often, multiple times a day. And because I use a stop loss, most of the time I put like easy 50% of my account in a trade. And a lot of these are like 20% gains. Let's just say, for example, just back to the ones that I did the other earlier in this video, SMX. Right here. Right? Like I said, the entry was right here to SMA. Let's go right here. Play it safe. 36% gain. Right? Let's say let's try another one. Sint, random one that we did in this video. Entry is right here. MACD cross from here to here, 29%. Let's do another one. INBS. This one was over here. Okay, this one was a big one just because it was a red line, but if it wasn't for that, you have taken your entry right here. You go to the SMA, 20%. Right, so like these are huge returns, but like I said, I use a stop loss just for the peace of mind that if it does skyrocket while I'm working, I don't lose a lot of money. I've seen people lose thousands of dollars just because they don't have a stop loss and they assume the stock is going down. Because at the end of the day, we're trading garbage stocks, right? But sometimes there's that one garbage stock, especially the Chinese ones, they just keep pumping and pumping. And like here's an example of last week. This one here, the Chinese stock. MACD cross here, entry, pumps. MACD cross, entry, tank, pumps. MACD cross, entry would be right here, tanks, pumps. Like it just didn't stop until the very end where it actually did hit the SMA. But that's the reason why I put a stop loss. This one here, you would never hit the stop loss anyways, but just to give you an example that stocks can go up. If you'd like to learn how to trade this pattern, just head over to my Discord. It's in the description below. You can definitely chat with me. I do have a course on how to sell it. And right now I do have an introduction price of $250 for the course. And that pretty much teaches you the short ones, which is the entries when it crosses the blue line, and the short twos. And it also give you access to my alerts for lifetime. So unlike a lot of other alert services where you have to pay $50, $100, I've seen $200, $300, $400 a month. This is just a one-time payment because it's the video or my channel is new and it's an introductory price, but I will definitely be increasing it later on. So do subscribe and we'll see you in the next one.